Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks and Futures preview for Thursday the 25th of August 2022 and Friday the 26th. Hope you had a good trading. Actually, it's been such a slow week. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hard to make money. This is the end of summer, right? This is sometimes the worst. If there's nothing going on in the world. Strangely, there is a lot going on in the world between the war and the interest rate issue and oil and supply chain issues and real estate issues and the Fed and everything. But somehow the market seems to act like it's just the normal last 2 weeks of summer, and it is what it is. So we'll talk about the date settings there in a few minutes. But here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. As you can see, not a lot here. If I go to the S&P cash, up 12 for the day. That's a blip. And when you see Tuesday and Wednesday combined, and then most of Monday, you'll know how bad this was. NASDAQ 100 up 36 points. That's a blip. Look at that one. Look how bad that is. The SOX up a point, 1.87. 3 days in a row, nothing here. The biotech's up 54.58. Whatever. Russell 2000 up 16.14. Again, look how bad that is for 3 days. That's the whole week so far. Crude oil 95.24 up 35 cents. Remember, we talked about that 13 buy signal in the risk line, and so far we're curling up off of that. So those signals so strong. It's the only seeker signal that's actually completed on crude oil since way back in January of 2001. And of course, we know COVID was an issue back then. But I mean, sheesh, nothing, right? Just absolutely nothing. So this is the first signal in a long time there, and it is working properly. Gold up $2.50. 17.64. We got the advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ up positive 670. So more stocks up and down by a little bit. And on the New York positive 767. So again, more stocks up and down. Here's the real bummer though. NASDAQ volume was only 3.9 billion shares. Look at the last 2 days. 2 lightest volume days of the year so far. Since January 1st. Back to back. Horrible. That's why you'll see the action you get in a minute from that. So the VIX down $1.29 to 22.82. The trend closes at 0.68, puts that 10-day moving average back to 0.89. But again, nothing major there. Apple, Apple up 30 cents to 167.53 after sliding the last few days. Amazon up 18 cents. Again, same deal. This thing looks bad though. If it breaks the lows of the last week or 3 or whatever that is, and into that gap, that does not look pretty. Meta up $2.15, but very near the lows. Google down 17 cents. It's so funny to see all these stocks have split. So now we're talking about them at tradable prices. Goldman Sachs up $1.76, but look at that for 3 days in a row. That doesn't tell you what the market's doing. Netflix up $5.06 on Wednesday. Peloton up $2.28. That's actually a bigger deal. That's a big move for Peloton. Trying to come out. Peloton remains a buyout candidate, I think, out there. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 82 cents. Bonds down, rates up, as they say. Tesla up $1.93. No pattern there, really. Zoom up $2.29. No pattern there either, other than, I guess, if we break, actually, there is kind of. If we break the lows, nothing pretty about that. The VXX down 34 cents. New lows for the last... actually, you're approaching new lows for the year there. NVIDIA up 41 cents is what it is. Bitcoin, 21,300, down 350 points on the Bitcoin. It had gotten back near 25,000, but slipping again. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 59.64, which is a blip as well. All right, so nothing there. Now, let's go to the intra-day action on the 5-minute ES chart. And I'm just going to kind of consolidate this a little bit, zoom it in, because I want you to see that's since Friday. Okay, so Friday's got this Monday morning with this big gap down, and we got head lower. But when you start basically right before lunch on Monday, and the rest of the day was kind of just a waste. And Tuesday's basically dead flat, and Wednesday's now dead flat, still inside those 2 days range. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets from a trading perspective, and that's when we talk about summer and stuff like that. This is what we're getting. I mean, it's just summer times, and I wouldn't get too excited about anything right now. What's the timeline for this? When do we get out of this? Well, the way to look at that is we've got Thursday and Friday left. hard to believe. Friday's probably going to be a waste of time, and I don't think I'll be around much. That's Friday, the August 26th. Maybe we'll get something on Thursday. I'm going to look real quick at the economic data coming out, which we talked about over the weekend. Preliminary GDP, that's the second look at GDP for the second quarter, but I don't think anybody expects much of a change there. Initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, that's all an hour before the bell on Thursday. Natty gas an hour into the market on Thursday. Goods trade balance, personal income and spending, core PCE price index, preliminary wholesale inventories at 8:30. And then Fed Chair Pat Powell speaks and revised University of Michigan sentiment on Friday. So nothing major. I don't think anything that's going to rock the boat. I don't think that GDP number is going to change anything. So what does that mean? That means probably the rest of the week not too exciting. What does next week look like? I haven't looked at the data, the economic data coming out, but here's what we know. This is the end of August. This is the end of summer. And next week leads into the 3-day weekend, which is Labor Day here in the U.S. on September 5th. Monday, September 5th, markets are closed. It is obviously typically the end of summer. That marks the end of summer. So we'll see what that means. But we've got, whatever full week next week. But, you got the end of the August statements printing on Wednesday. That's August 31st. And then, of course, people out and they take the long weekend. They leave Thursday or Friday for make it a 5-day weekend. Why not? With everything closed on September 5th. After that, things start to pick up almost always. And really, we head into the federal budget times, which the federal government doesn't really pass budgets anymore, but that was always something that was a factor. So we will see how that goes. But again, I would keep very low expectations the rest of this week, next week for the most part, and then we'll see what happens after that. If we can find something in the early parts of the day, that's great. Otherwise, we'll just focus on surviving and making sure we don't lose money and get into the better trading time of the year. Once we start back up, whenever it picks up, it's usually good until next May or so. So that's great. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday, Friday, and a good weekend.